Hi everyone, I'm Charissa.Willow with Charissa.Willow Mixed Media Art. In this video I'm going to show how I used quite a variety of techniques to make this whimsical lady inspired by Jane Davenport's Beautiful Faces book. I used a lot of different techniques and a lot of supplies for this project. I used black and green ink. I used a stamp block. I used a script stamp. I used this stamp set that I got at the dollar store. I used acrylic paint pens. This is a set from Michaels. And I also used some Posca pens, as well as a white gel pen and a white Sharpie paint pen. I used these water-soluble wax pastels, a scissors, some baby wipes, an inexpensive watercolor set, a plastic scraper. I was inspired by this book, Beautiful Faces by Jane Davenport. I used a color book, some music paper, and I used 2 stencils from my stencil stash. I used some acrylic paint, some workable fixative, some clear gesso, some Mod Podge matte, some small and large brushes, and some watercolor pencils. I start with one of my gel prints that came out of my last gel printing session, which was in my last video. I add to this print by stenciling with this bird and flower stencil. I just place the stencil where I want it and then gently dab a thin layer of white acrylic paint using a makeup sponge. Using my book as inspiration, I then sketch out a basic face and cut it from the gel print. I choose a second print for her hair, and I sketch and cut that out as well. For the background, I will be using a technique I learned from Noit Art. I choose some pages from a coloring book and a music sheet. I cut them out and I arrange them before I use matte Mod Podge to place them on the mixed media paper. Once I have the papers arranged the way I want them, I cover the entire background with clear gesso. Next, I'm going to be spraying this with some sprays I made with water and gel food coloring. I first test the colors on a paper towel to see which ones I want to use. I spray the entire background using a few different color sprays. Then I use a brush to even out the color. Then I use a paper towel to soak up some of the excess. I repeat this a second time and then I allow it to dry. When it is dry, I come in with Mod Podge again and I attach the hair and the face to my project. I then come in with white acrylic paint for the eyes. Next, I use watercolor to place shadows and highlights on the skin. I like the transparency of the watercolor because the design of the print continues to show through. When I finish with the watercolor, I go in and add details with acrylic paint pens. I forgot to turn on the camera for this, but this is what it looks like after I've used the paint pens. Next, I go in with gold and yellow paint pens and a white gel pen. I choose some of the areas of the color pages to color in. Next, I come in with yellow acrylic paint to bring some color into the top left corner. I then use a stencil and a baby wipe to remove some of the paint so that the mask of the stencil is left behind. I come in again with some acrylic paint pens and add some details to her hair. I also come in with the white gel pen again and add some details to the background. I come in with a black Posca pen and darken up some of my outlines. To try and make her pop, I use a black pastel to darken the background close to her. I also put a little green pastel in her hair. These pastels activate with water, so I come in with water and I smooth out the area closest to her skin and around her hair to make a shadow to make her come off the page a little more. Once again, I thought my camera was on when it wasn't, but I finished her out with some stamping. I used green ink to stamp butterfly flower and flowers in her hair, and I used black ink to stamp the script stamp in a couple of places in the background. This is the finished project. I hope you like it. Thank you for watching my video. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and please follow me on Facebook at Charissa.Willow Mixed Media Art or on Instagram at Charissa.Willow. Thank you again for watching my video and have a great day.